Hi folks, tonight we're going to tie a very classic streamer pattern. I think quite a few of us maybe caught our first trout on this fly. It's called an ace of spades. Still popular today. I think I remember fishing straight years and years ago and catching fish on it. So this is a Matuka style fly. Again, they're still used in the States and everywhere. Very popular shape of a fly, and it behaves well in the water. Just put a wee bit of wax in the thread, and then I'm starting the thread as normal. I'll do this as quickly as I can because it's a long shank hook. This is it would be a classic lure hook. That's the code, a B830, and this is a size 8, but you can do it in any size you feel happy with. So good foundation of thread on, and then come up to the top. I want this fly to fish the correct way up, so instead of doing turns of lead along the bottom, I'm going to put one single strand of lead on the underside. When you get down near the back, just wiggle it and it'll break off, and then up the front you can just build up a little dam just to level out the taper. So now that we're here, we're going to tie in, this is oval silver, and this would be the large size. And I'm putting this on the side towards me, and then down the back side of the hook I've got some black chalene. Then we're going to tie that in on the far side, and the reason I do this is that this means we've got a little flat section along the top for the wing or back of the fly to sit on. So that's those two materials tied down. I'm going to form the body now. Putting one turn behind, and I'll show you why in a second, and then we're going to form touch and turns all the way up. And leave about 3 to 4 millimeters at the eye. So you can see we've got a body here, and the silver wire is coming out of the side of the material, and I'll show you why that is done in a minute. So this back of the fly is going to look like a little Mohican, and it's formed out of two similar sized hen hackles. This one's a little bit. So I've got two feathers here, and we're putting them curved side facing each other. And we want to make sure that the tips are pretty much aligned. So we need to calculate out the size of this fly. And I sort of like to have my flies the same size. So I'm looking to measure here, you can guess this, but I'm looking to measure approximately 3/4 of an inch or 20 mil out the back. And once we've figured that out, then we're going to strip away at the front here. So this is going to be our tie-in point, and then we need to get rid of these ones below, so I take a few off and then just keep checking to sort of, and again we're looking these to be similar, so before you tie them in make sure you double check the tips are lined up. So take your time with this bit of it, because once these are in, that's it, you can't change them after. So you'll see there we've got the underbody bit removed, we've got a tail, and it's approximately the right length. So now we're going to tie this in with a pinch and loop, a couple of those, and these stalks I'm going to fold them back and come up on top of them, and that pretty much ensures that these are not going to fall out. So what's going to secure this wing in place is the silver rib, and pretty much the best way to do this is to use a dubbing needle. So for the first turn you can sort of do it with your fingers, but then it gets a little bit complex after that. So with the first turn, make sure that these are coming off the back straight, and then fold these back, and the rib is going to be the key function. So I'm going to try and show it upside down so the camera can see it. I'm going to pick a hole for where the rib's going to come through. So fold it up, I'm seeing where the rib is touching, and then I'm making a hole, and we're going to reposition them, come up, find the touching point, make a hole, fold it back, come up, find the touching point, make a hole, and then the last turn, I'm not so much worried about this bare space because there's another material to go in, and again this rib's good for the shininess and holding that wing down. As it's large silver, plenty of turns. Okay. One second. Material. So on the underside of this, there's supposed to be guinea fowl, but it's something I don't have. So I'm using grizzle. Looks just as good. And I've got a little throat, just hackle points. And I'm going to line them up so they're just about reaching the barb. Sorry, not the barb, the point of the hook. Set that little throat in, and one loose turn over. Tie that in. And I'm not going to worry about tidying it up just yet because there's one more material to go in. And this is a single bronze mallard feather. Now I'm showing you this because it's extremely low quality, but I'll show you a trick. So all I'm doing here is taking off two sections of this. So I've got the basis of a wing, and then I'm just going to roll it. So we've got this sort of a wing, and I'm going to measure it. So I want it touching the top of the hackle here. I'm going to pre-trim this at an angle, just set it on top. Nope. And again make sure it's equal. So you'll see that covered the little space that we had. Now anywhere you're trying to cover something, a bit of wax really helps. This is the dark one. Very rarely even see it advertised now, the dark one. Cobbler's wax. So we're going to bind this down as tight as this I'm using cheap thread here, old stuff, because again it's a lure, and we want a big pronounced head on it. So let's check this. It looks straight and looks good from both sides. So before I varnish the fly, anytime you're using poor grade bronze mallard, you can get these artist's markers, and this particular colour is praline, or there's another one here, it's W145, which is like a skin colour. I'll do it with this one first, you see. So that gives it a nice sort of summer duck type colour, but this darker one, it really brings it into a bronze mallard colour. It will stick a little bit, but after the varnish dries on the head, run a brush through that and it will separate again. And it's good enough for these lures. You mightn't want to do it on your best dobblers, but for these flies, no problemo. Again, you'll see there that's not a great fly tan thread, but this is a big nasty lure. So that completes the Ace of Spades. Really good traditional style pattern, used for years, still works. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want any questions answered, just leave comments below and hopefully hit your like button. Thank you very much.